All right, so I want to do a lot more of these videos. I've realized the past couple months I've been lazy. Just put it easy terms, I've been lazy. But a topic that keeps coming up regularly that I get asked all the time, whether it's an Instagram questionnaire or someone shooting us an email, someone coming into the store, on the range, whatever it may be, is weapon-mounted laser sighting system. Not a red dot sight, but a weapon, like a laser sighting system, like a visible laser for a everyday carry or a CCW gun or whatever. A pistol that you carry, whether it's home defense or everyday. My views on it are what I'm going to be talking about. Again, my opinion. I do not like them. I don't understand the purpose of them. I mean, yes, in the grand scheme of them, I get it. Point, dot, shoot. But what happens is the way that our bodies work, the way our minds work, is we get ocularly fixated on things. So if we train consistently to see that dot visibly on the wall, automatically thinking of that every time we have to draw our gun is we draw a gun, look for dot, pull trigger, right? So we're getting ocularly fixated on a physical object that we see on a wall somewhere, whatever it is. The problem with that is underneath a stress inoculated situation, what happens to our motor skills? Fine motor skills, refer to gross motor skills, tunnel vision, all the blood starts rushing into our core to protect our vitals, which is why everything goes, and then we take a breath, everything opens back up again, right? So now imagine yourself in a stress inoculated situation. You have to draw your pistol, hit that button, put a dot on somebody, or squeeze your palm and put a dot on somebody. Sounds simple, right? Oh, I practice it all the time. It makes perfect sense. Like I do it all the time in my house. I see the dot, I do it all the time. Now, what happens if that dot dies? If the battery dies, whatever it is, it's not there. What are you gonna do? You are going to hesitate. You are literally going to, where's the dot? Oh, I gotta use my sights now. Now you have to go from sights or using a dot to sights, or whichever method you're gonna use, which potentially, that could be life or death. So I'm not a huge fan on physical visual dots that everybody can see for the sheer fact of I don't want to get fixated on that. Oh, well, hey Frank, well, what about red dot sights? You don't even run iron sights on your pistols with red dots. Well, red dots have come a very long way. It's not a physical dot that everybody else can see, and I train with it on and I train with it off. If you look back at pistols way before sights came into play in the 80s, there were no sights. There was like a line down the barrel, reference points to be able to use your pistol. And then sights came along and you could adjust them and do everything else. So with that being said is, well, your red dot sight could die. You're right, my red dot sight could die. The chances of that happening, very rare. I mean, I never shut it off to begin with. I've had a Holosun last me 4 years. A 508T lasted me 4 years without changing the battery. Never shut it off. I don't do shake awake. I don't do any of that. I just leave it on constantly. I don't like to mess with that stuff. With that being said too is, oh, well, now you're relying on something. Well, you're right. But if the battery does die in my optic, God forbid, and I'm going to use it, I always have reference points. I've got a back plate. I've got the barrel, the edge of the slide. I've got the window itself of my optic. But every day I carry, I do an admin check, or I do press checks. I go through the whole dry fire rep. As if I'm wearing this t-shirt today, I drew a couple times, checked my magazine, checked that it was fully loaded, checked the chamber, made sure there was a round in the chamber, checked my optic. I go through this process of things. So yes, it could potentially happen. Nothing is perfect, but during the middle of the day, if I had to use my gun, my red dot could be dead. But like I said, I can use my back plate, I can use the edge of my slide, I can use my window of my optic for reference. Again, in my opinion, I don't feel that they are a great advantage to you. I feel like they're a disadvantage to you. My whole concept when it comes to visible laser on your pistol is don't do it. Be really good with your iron sights or be really good with your red dot. Now, if you're gonna run both iron sights and red dot, that's your prerogative. I don't do that. I've been testing red dots long enough to see that. I very rarely ever had them fail, just like when everyone's like, oh, EOTech suck battery life out. I kept a AA battery in an EOTech for like 3 years when I was living in Baghdad. Never shut it off. Always kept it on. Technology has come a very long way. Should we rely on technology? Obviously, no. We just have to understand where it benefits us and where it might hinder us. But again, in my opinion, having a visible laser sight or laser dot on your gun, I feel is disadvantageous to you as a person because you're getting ocularly fixated on a physical thing. And if that physical thing isn't there in the heat of the moment, it potentially could be life or death for you. Any questions? By all means, hit me up. If you guys want to see more videos like this, shoot me a DM, tell me like, hey man, can you do more videos? Like, I want you to talk about this. Because like I said, I know I've gotten away from doing this stuff. So if there's something you want me to talk about, hit me up and I'm gonna start doing these videos a couple times a week, just start talking about stuff. So as always, if you can't be safe, be dangerous.